What is up, Jaguar fans? I know you guys are pumped for week 2, just like me. I know it's crazy. Thursday night show. Shay brought it up, baby. I'm taking on those NFL ratings. I will take on those Thursday night football ratings. I appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to you guys that were here early. Nolly full cab with dad to start off the chat. If you're coming in here watching a preview after the fact and you're wondering what we're talking about, these are all live shows. We do all these shows live. This is a Jaguars forum for fans, by fans. We do this to kind of see what Jaguars fans are thinking about their team. So here we are on a Thursday night previewing a Sunday matchup at home between Jacksonville and the Denver Broncos. I'm excited. I'll be there. Before I tell you where I'm at, make sure you do follow us on Twitter at Jaguars_United, Instagram, JaguarsUnited_. I do other things, so follow for everything. And man, am I pumped for this game. I will be at Intuition Aleworks. I looked it up today for the official name, pregame. So if anyone's looking to have a good time, head over to Intuition. I'll be there a couple hours before the game, and then we'll roll into the game for sure. Going to be really exciting. But, man, am I excited for this episode because I know I'm the optimist. I'm the glass half full guy, but, I don't feel like people are previewing this game properly. This isn't like John Elway's Denver Broncos. This isn't Peyton Manning's Denver Broncos. Now, they're not horrible, but they're not winning the Super Bowl. So everyone needs to calm down on this, doom and gloom type situations. So this show is all about you guys. I mean, I have some points and stats pulled up, but let me know what y'all think. Tell me what you think is going to happen on Sunday. Tell me what you think the issues may be, where you think we might be strong, what we should kind of focus on. Give it to me, man. I'm here for it for sure. So I'm going to get to some of these comments because that's what the show is all about. Shay J says, "Hey, Jason. Let's go. Let's go, Shay." A Sharpshooter says first, but he wasn't first. Charlie Boy also said first, and he wasn't first. You hate to see it. A Sharpshooter says, never mind. Brett E says, Duval. Let's go, Brett E. Jacob E. Up says, the weekend will be my first Jags home game. Dude, Jake, you know where to find me. I'm not even 100% sure where my tickets are. My buddy bought them for me. Pretty pumped about that. So we're gonna be there. We're gonna have a great time. But hit me up on Twitter and you'll be able to find me for sure. I'll be posting pictures from where I'm at. That's for sure. A Sharpshooter says it's all good. It is all good. It is all good. Shay J, Monday night, now Thursday night. Are you trying to take on the NFL? It's supposed to rain. So Shay says bring a poncho. And trust me, Shay is going to be appropriately attired for the game. Shay's at all the games, if you know what I mean. A little sideline insider in Shay J. Charlie Wilson says, how are you feeling about Wingard? Well, I can't say anyone feels too strongly about Wingard. Not even the coaches. For all the people that are like, man, Wingard sucks, can't believe the coaches are starting him. They did start him week 1, but then they promptly took him out at halftime. He didn't see the field on the defense after halftime. So trust me, the coaches saw all the same things that you did, and I don't expect to see him on the field. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter about Wingard. I can't believe it. I don't think he's going to play. I mean, he'll be on special teams, but I don't think you're going to see him on any normal defensive possession. I think they've already realized that Cisco is a better option there, for sure. Nolly Full Cap, as a Jags fan living in Denver, regardless of the outcome, this whole upcoming week is going to be no fun. Oh, I thought you were going to say fun. No fun. Okay, so you're, the upcoming, I see. But if we win, the following week would be great for you because you can gloat to all your Broncos coworkers or whatever they are, for sure. I mean, maybe classmates. I can't assume everyone here is going to work every day. I had someone tell me just 2 days ago that they watch my show on the way to driving their kid to school. And that broke my heart because that's kind of how I bonded with my dad, was listening to sports talk radio on the way to school. So if you listen to this, if you watch me with your kids, you're literally like, dude, I relate to you, man. It almost made me want to be a little bit better at this, which is, it takes a lot. It takes a lot for sure. Robert Adrich says, Cans PFF for last game. I know you're going with this, Robert. AJ Cans PFF grade for last game was a 9.5. Now, I'm a PFF guy, okay? I love PFF. Anyone that's ever listened to the podcast back in the day, I'm a big PFF guy. I don't think his play was that horrible. It was bad. It was not good, but it wasn't 9.5 bad. That's you could put a crash test dummy there. They could score at least a 5. I don't know, man. That's weird. It was super low, but it wasn't just him, bro. The entire offensive line. It was funny because I listened to one show on Monday morning, early in the morning, and they were like, well, the pass blocking wasn't that bad. And then someone posted the PFF grades, and the entire narrative changed. The PFF grades, and now it's okay, this offensive line is just pathetic and they weren't good by any means, but dude, a lot of people wanted the Jags to draft an offensive lineman early. I was one of those guys. I wanted to get a guy in the end of the first round that you could plug into that offensive line, because I know how bad the offensive line is. I watch them. They're not good. They have experience, but they're not good. So I kind of gave them a pass because I was all right, maybe they thought Walker Little had a value of an early first round grade. And if they did, and if they had that evaluation on Walker Little, it makes sense to me why they didn't take a lineman until Walker Little. But Walker Little didn't play last week, and the PFF grades came out and they were bad last week. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. Charlie Wilson with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Charlie Wilson. He said, I grew up with a Charlie Wilson. He was a good friend of mine when I was a kid. I haven't seen him in 20 years. What are the chances? He says, for $5. Thank you, by the way, Charlie. He says, I think Manhertz will be a sleeper this season in the red zone. I also like the rookie from Ohio State. So here's the thing about Manhertz is I think he's a younger, bigger James O'Shaughnessy. Is that fair? Primarily blocks, but can run that intermediate route for no yards after the catch. I know, hey, this is the second show in a row that I've kind of undersold Manhertz. I did it last show. I'm making the change right here. You know what, Charlie? I'm with you. Manhertz is a sleeper. I'm going to speak that into existence. A red zone sleeper. I'm with you there. I'm with you. Hey, and thank you for the $5, bro. I appreciate it. Speaking of the super chat, I did set up membership. So it's there. It's there. If you want to be a Jaguars United YouTube member, the option is there. If you're watching this on replay and you're one of the, I think the last video is almost to 1,000 views after the live show, shame on you. Hit the notification button. Be a part of this conversation. I understand if you live overseas, you live in the UK, and you're asleep right now. But if you're not, hit the bell, get the noties, Noti gang. I had to be educated on what that meant, and be a part of the conversation. Like Robert Atzert, who said Linder was a 75 and Norwell was a 76. Speaking about their PFF grades, both tackles were around 35. Okay, so not good, not good. They were pretty low. I commented on it on Twitter because I am a PFF guy. I think there's moments when you can't look to the analytics. Absolutely. I'm a Rays fan. When Kevin Cash took out Blake Snell in the World Series last year, I was pretty mad. But when it comes to football, I think you have to be a little more selective. Analytics can work, especially when you're talking about percentage of pass blocking. Charlie Wilson, the first member. Yes, he's Matt Jones level. I hope you appreciate the name of our first level. I hope you do. I really hope you do. Nolly Full Cab, another member, bro. Appreciate it, guys. Dude, you guys are a part of history, man. You guys are you are the first members of this channel. I can't wait to deep dive into it and make sure that the members get some cool. You know what? I'm gonna hook up Charlie and Nolly with some cool stuff. I'm gonna make sure that I do that. Definitely. But yeah, the offensive line is definitely an issue. Jeff Singer in the comments says, do you think you have it bad? Try being a Jags fan since 95 in Canada. No Jags fan anywhere near me. Okay. Yeah, it's hard when there's no Jags fans around you. Then you kind of get that label as like the Jags fan. But here's the bonus, Jeff, and I can tell you this because I've worked in environments where I'm the only Jag fan. The bonus of being the only Jag fan around is every like birthday or holiday or Christmas or anything, you're getting nothing but Jags stuff. And it's awesome. I love it. I love it. People are like, oh, what am I going to get Jason? I'm just getting like a Jags shirt. I'm like, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I get Jags stuff all the time because I'm the only Jags fan. And I'll take it. I'll take it 10 times out of 10. So soak it in, Jeff. Do ball till we die. I see it. And again, man, Charlie and Nolly, man. Whoo. First members. Ross Gardner says, hey, at Jaguars United. How's it going? Just joined the stream, came over from UCF Jaguar. Oh, is he doing a live show right now? I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I didn't get the notification from UCF Jaguar, but I appreciate you coming over. I love UCF Jaguar. His channel's great. Me and him have known each other for a long time. He does a great job on YouTube. Nolly Full Cap gave you a membership because you thought I was a student. Hey, Nolly, you know what? You know, it's not a bad thing, man. It's not a bad thing to get ID'd anymore. Kid Get Money says Matt Jones was underrated along with Reggie Williams. How dare you put Reggie Williams and Matt Jones in the same sentence? No, I'm just kidding. The receiver threat from Washington, Reggie Williams. Yeah, I mean he was what he was. You know, Matt Jones though. I mean that's top tier right there. A tier. Robert Adshert says shows you Trevor's pocket presence after throwing 50 times and 1 sack. I mean, I think that was something. I mean, that's a very good point. Like, Trevor Lawrence's pocket awareness is probably some of the best I've seen. And I know I'm a homer, so you can say I'm a homer all you want. But I've been saying that since he was in college. Like, he has got pocket presence. I mean, his ability, his footwork in the pocket, he's just another level. Like, people have no clue. Like, he is an absolute another level. That's the reason why he's a generational quarterback. I mean, it's the little things like that. Not taking sacks. You know, I mean, think about this. He took 1 sack, yet he only ran one time for -3 yards. So, I don't know. This is supposed to be a preview show, and it has turned into the Jaguars hype show. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Denver. All right. Last time I saw Denver and the Jags, I was there in Denver. Gardner Minshew, incredible comeback. This week, I don't think we're necessarily in a horrible position. I don't think Denver's as good as everyone thinks they are. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater was efficient, but I mean, he was efficient, and the defense was okay. I mean, I don't think the Giants are very good. I mean, you beat the Giants 27-13. I mean, scoring 27 points against the Giants is not necessarily something to like get super pumped about. I went back and watched the game. The Broncos' run game, even though they had like a bunch of yards, they had a bunch of yards rushing, but like a lot of it came on one play. Like Melvin Gordon had this super long run at the end of the game when the game was like already over that pretty much inflated the stats. I mean, Javonte Williams, their pick out of North Carolina, 14 carries for 45 yards. I mean, they were good on third down. I mean, 7 for 13 on third down. I mean, that's good. And I got to chalk that up to play calling. I got to chalk that up to Teddy Bridgewater making the right decision. Better than 7 and 13 on third down. They were 3 of 3 on fourth down. So they went for it 3 times on fourth down. So this team's definitely not afraid to roll the dice. So I'll take that. UCF Jaguar in the chat. Oh, hello, UCF Jaguar. He says, hello, friend. Hello, UCF. I was just giving you some props about your YouTube channel. For sure. You know, and shout out to UCF Jaguar. I've never seen UCF Jaguar out there begging for followers. So so shout out to you, UCF. You're doing it. Yeah, I wish I could say the same. Charlie Wilson with another $5 super chat. Thank you, Charlie. Bro, thank you. He says the Giants don't look good right now on Thursday Night Football. Yeah, well, I'm glad because there was 7-3 when I turned it off, so you'll have to let me know the score. I did take Washington to cover. It's 7-7. Oh, so it couldn't have been 7-3. I don't know what I'm talking about. I did take Washington to cover. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a dark, dark world for the gambling degenerates like myself. Shay J, I lost your comment here because my computer is. Give me 1 second, Shay. If you're rewatching this, I swear I'm a lot more professional than this. Shay J says Teddy will dink and dunk, but we couldn't cover any short routes last game. I have a feeling they will control the clock and limit our offensive chances. So they definitely controlled the clock last game, and that's a good point, Shay. I think the coaches are kind of going to do the same thing that you're thinking. That's what they're going to try to do. They controlled the clock against the Giants. I mean, I think they had the ball for 34 minutes against the Giants. Like you said, dink and dunk. I think Joe Colin will want to kind of play his defense up, and then that'll force Denver to have to kind of stretch us and stretch our secondary, which I think could happen because I don't think we're very good. I mean, unfortunately, I think the secondary is kind of one of the most underwhelming positions on the team right now. Jerry Jeudy being out helps. Graham Glasnow, I mean, that's a guy. I mean, Jerry Judy's good. Jerry Judy's really good, but Graham Glasnow is very good too. He's a guard that he's been having heart problems. Very serious thing, but I noticed when I was perusing the Denver Broncos subreddit, they don't think he's gonna play. That's those two big losses there. Bradley Chubb is practicing, but Fangio said he's not sure if he'll play. I mean, their defense is going to be missing Bradley Chubb, and their offense is going to be missing Jeudy and Glasnow. So if they're going to stretch the field, I mean, Tim Patrick, another receiver they had, he had 4 receptions and a touchdown. Cortland Sutton had 1 catch on 3 targets last week. It's just I don't really think they're passing. I don't really think much of their offense. I mean, Jeudy is the most scary person. That tight end that scored a touchdown, can't pronounce his name. I mean, he's okay. I mean, I think Miles Jack could cover him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not scared of their offense. I'm just really not. Robert Atcher says, hey, UCF. Tony P says, what's up, chat? I made it in time. Well, Tony P, I'm glad you made it in time. It's about time you made it in time for a live show. And again, if you're rewatching it, catch our live shows. They're a lot of fun, for sure. Nolly Fullcap says, I think Denver has a really good secondary. I think we see a few more nasty turnovers from Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Ronald Darby not playing helps, right? I mean, that's got to help us a little bit. But you're right. I mean, their defense is pretty good. I just don't know how quickly will Trevor Lawrence develop. Like how quickly will he go from 3 interceptions a game to 2 to 1 to none? What is that progression going to look like? Is he still in the early phases of that? And if it was a typical rookie quarterback, I would say that yes, he is going to stay in that phase for a little bit longer, at least till week 6 or 7 or 8. But Trevor Lawrence, I think, is an anomaly. I really do think he's a guy that's going to figure it out quick. Look, I mean, the guy takes chances. He throws while he's running backwards. He takes the deep shot over the check down. You know, that he tries to pick up the first down without sliding. I mean, that's who Trevor is. And I kind of don't want to change that. Do I want him to play smarter? Yes, but do I want him to lose the gunslinger mentality? I don't. I'd kind of rather take the turnovers right now because I like the fact that he'll go downfield. The thing about Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is such a gunslinger. He throws a lot of interceptions. But, week 1, that guy was making throws. He was throwing the ball down the field. He was making throws that I was very surprised because he was just gunning it in there. I kind of want Trevor to have that. I would rather Trevor be that than a guy who's just going to take a bunch of sacks, go 3 and out a bunch, and then every once in a while have a nice drive. I don't know. Maybe you all disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm just so sick of that. That's what we've had for so long, is the guy that's not trying to turn the ball over. Throw the ball. It's the NFL. Throw the ball. Nicole Trent with the $1.99 donation. That's too generous. Thank you. Super chat with no chat. I like it. Charlie Wilson says 7-7, but sloppy. Okay. UCF Jaguar says, did you see CJ Board catch a best catch today? I did not. I was at a establishment that was showing the game via satellite dish, and the weather in Jacksonville was not very kind to satellite dish. So I came home, fired this up, and here we are. So I did not see that. My boy CJ Board. I like CJ Board. I like it. Rahul Anand says that Melvin and Fant are the main concern. Okay. All right. I didn't even talk about Noah Fant, and that's my bad. He did have 6 receptions. I think he had like 8 targets. I'm not concerned about Melvin Gordon. Look, Melvin Gordon, like I said, like he was 11 carries for 101 yards, but he had like 80 of them in 1. So I mean, like the guy's like at the end of the game when the game was over. So I'm really not. I don't think this run attack is that good. Noah Fant, yeah. Tim Patrick, maybe. Cortland Sutton, maybe. But I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Fant did tear us up last time he played us. I mean, I was at that game for sure. Ace Sharpshooter, we weren't scared of the Texans' offense, and look what happened. All right, Ace, you're right. All right, I have absolutely no rebuttal to that. You have stumped me, Ace. You're right. Robert Adsert, I want to see Johnson on some of those go routes to stretch the field. Yeah, Tyron Johnson feels like he wasn't very utilized last week, and I want him to be good, and I want him to stretch the field. But until he makes a play for us, he's still the guy that got cut. And maybe that's too harsh. And by no means am I not saying he's not a good athlete, because he's an outstanding athlete. But as far as like a football player that can contribute to this team, like until he does like anything, I think they tried to throw it to him on a bubble once, and he did nothing last week. I mean, until he does something, he's the guy who got cut from the Chargers. So say what you want about him. I mean, it is what it is. I'm rooting for him, though. I am absolutely rooting for him. Junior Jags Press says we got worried about tight end Noah Fant and cornerback Shaquille Griffin against Tim Patrick or Cortland Sutton. I'd be nervous. Yeah, I guess those are all good points. I mean, I know I'm trying to be optimistic here, but I said the secondary is where I'm the most concerned, and maybe Miles Jack can pick up the slack on the tight end coverage. Miles Jack is kind of like feast or famine type guy. I mean, he either is like not in coverage or he's like forcing a fumble or intercepting it. So I mean, if we're in like that type of situation, like I'd rather rely on, like, I'll take that Miles Jack Noah Fant matchup. But you're right, and that Cortland Sutton Jack Griffin matchup. But I would be more worried if that was Jerry Jeudy. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I guess that's how I'm like rationalizing it, is like, I'm glad that's not Jerry Jeudy. And because it's not Jerry Jeudy, and because with Jerry Jeudy, they barely beat the Giants. I mean, 2 touchdowns in the NFL is not much. I think we have a chance. I don't think the Giants are very good at all. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Call it optimistic all you want. A fun fact I was reading about Denver's defense is apparently they do bad against 2 specific things. They do very bad against like mobile scrambling quarterbacks. Like they just have had the inability to stop quarterbacks that can run and create yards with their feet. And the second thing is apparently they play really bad in like Florida, like Miami, Tampa. Like apparently they play really bad when they're traveling down here. So kind of like the thought that we have, I mean, you know, whenever we go to the West Coast, we usually get killed. Maybe that's what can happen with them coming to the hot, humid Florida climate. Look, there's some optimism for you. Look, you came here for some optimism, and that's some optimism. Shay J says Trevor missed a wide open touchdown to Tyron early in the game, and I believe Chark dropped the pass. Does not surprise me. Chark did not have a great game. A guy that I'm a little worried about. I mean, maybe you guys aren't worried about him. I am. I mean, I'm a little worried about Chark. I mean, Laviska's getting the bulk of the targets. And then it seems like Marvin Jones is getting the second read, and then Chark's like the third. Isn't that what it seems like to you guys? I mean, maybe there's some like chemistry issues there with him not playing in the preseason. But all in all, like, I don't necessarily think that Trevor's looking toward Chark to like make plays. I don't know. Robert Adger says, hit that thumbs up button. Yeah, do it. Do it. We got, I think we had 1 thumbs down button, which, come on, you guys can do better than that. 1? You got to have at least a couple. I mean, look at UCF Jaguar. I mean, that's how you know that he's popping off. I mean, when you're getting a couple thumbs downs, when you're getting a couple people that disagree with you, that's kind of when you know that you've made it for sure. Our receiver's going to be able to get open against Kareem Jackson. I mean, I like Kareem Jackson as a player. I mean, there's a lot that can happen in this game. Like, what it all kind of boils down to, like, Denver and Jacksonville both, like, aren't that good. Like, I know Broncos fans, like, have this, like, pie in the sky mentality that they can go 3-0 in their next 2 matchups. Even if the Broncos were 3-0, would anyone think that they have, like, a shot at making a deep run? Like, I don't think that it's necessarily something that fans are like actually expecting. Teddy Bridgewater is going to have a ceiling, like a game manager. I mean, he played a perfect game manager role last week. I mean, what was he like? 255 yards passing. He was decent, but game managers, we run up against good defense and an aggressive pass rush. I mean, Joe Cullen talked about it. He went back and looked at the film, and this Jaguars defense actually had a lot of pressures. They weren't getting home. They weren't making sacks, but they were, like, disrupting the backfield. I mean, you can say, I mean, I know we mentioned about how there was an average Houston Texans offense, but Tyrod Taylor actually kind of made some good throws. Like, he actually kind of dropped the ball in there and made some throws off his back foot with a player in his face that I haven't seen him making since what was it, Virginia Tech? It's been a while. So you got to give credit where credit's due, and I think that's something that Urban said a bunch of times, and all the coaches said in Bevel and Cullen's press conferences today. Like, you got to give credit where credit's due, and Houston actually played a good game. Like, it sucks to admit because we were hyping up that game as playing the NFL's worst team, but it's the NFL, and any given Sunday, a team can come out and play really well, and that was an experienced coaching staff, an experienced quarterback, 4 experienced running backs coming out, handling the game like professionals against a bunch of guys who are doing it for the first time. It's okay to admit that. It's okay. It doesn't make us a poverty franchise. It doesn't make us horrible. It is what it is. Just pump the brakes. That's all I'm going to say. Jesus is King says, I hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Jesus is King, one of our favorite commenters in the chat. Robert Adzert, you nailed it. LaVisca, Jones, and then Chark. Yeah, that's true. I mean, just look at what's happening. I mean, you could almost argue that, like, Trevor kind of, like, gravitated toward the guys that played in the preseason. I mean, O'Shaughnessy was horrible. Manhurts scored a touchdown. Chark was horrible. Marvin Jones, LaVisca Chenault played pretty well. The offensive lineman that played in the preseason, okay, pretty good. AJ Cann, pretty bad. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's something to be said about playing in the preseason. Robert Adsert, I nailed it. Charlie Wilson, as a member, Charlie Wilson. Preferred comment reading member, Charlie Wilson. If you haven't heard, you can be a member of my channel now. You can join the Matt Jones level. You can join the Miles Jack level. Or you can join my favorite, the Maurice Jones-Drew level. He says, it looked like Chark was getting targeted to me in the first half for sure. He was getting targeted, but he didn't catch it. I mean, I talked about on the last show. I mean, they threw the ball to him, and, like, yeah, it was high or behind him, but you're an NFL wide receiver in a league that's set up to where you literally can have every pass uncontested. You can push off and not get called. You got to catch that ball. Jesus is King says, I saw Colin Johnson on the Giants tonight, but he's not active. Oh, man, that's sad. Because Colin Johnson's a guy that I think all of Jacksonville is rooting for. I mean, we loved that guy. I mean, I hope he makes it. Just not if they play the Jags. MT says, as long as we start Cisco over Wingard, we are making the playoff. There's this, like, okay, this is gonna lead me off into a side rant, and so I got to differentiate between them. Yes, Wingard was horrible. He was absolutely terrible, and if the fact that he never plays on the defense again would make me happy. That being said, Jags fans are insanely sensitive right now, and they're looking for anything to get upset about. Upset at the coaches, upset at the draft pick, upset at the GM, upset of how the coaches are handling every situation. And then when the national media comes in and also says those same things about us. Now we're upset at them for saying those same things about us. And then the Jaguars announced they have a new sponsor, a roofing company, and they're mad they're not putting a roof on the stadium. Like, Jags fans are just like looking for a fight right now. I mean, they are just looking for some things to get mad about. And you got to realize, like, you're getting mad at a guy. I mean, Urban Meyer on the Urban Meyer show last night or Tuesday night, whenever it was, says he doesn't read or watch anything. Like, why do you think that is? Why do you think Urban doesn't read a single comment or look at a single tweet? Because he knows it's a bunch of just like sensationalism craziness. He hasn't been here since 1995. He's been here for 1 year. He doesn't have the same perspective that we do. And I think Jags fans forget that sometimes. Same with Shad Khan. He's been here longer. But, man, we are just looking for stuff. I mean, and Wingard seems to be like the point that all Jags fans can get by. Like, that's the rally point. Like, we could all get on Wingard. I mean, that dude was in the hole trying to make a tackle and just straight whiffed. So, I'm with you there. Shay J is now a part of the Matt Jones level membership. Shay, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'm working on the membership perks. I think they're going to be pretty sick. I'm going to hook you guys up with something nice because y'all were the first ones. And it's just fun to be here. That's for sure. Robert Attert says Chazon missed 2 sacks on 1 play. LOL. Yeah, Chazon is starting to run out of time, if you know what I mean. Like, I think you have this window where fans will forgive you if you're a high draft pick and you don't produce, and I think Chazon's window is approaching Taven Bryan level. Are we getting there? I mean, they were around the same pick. Taven Bryan a little bit later, honestly. And are we getting to the point where is Chazon moving into Taven Bryan range? Not saying he is, but is he moving into that range? He's getting close. Nolly Full Cap says, wow, Daniel Jones, though. Haha, touchdown overturned by a CJ Board hold. Our man CJ Board is not getting any more love tonight. Yeah, I mean, he did early. UCF Jaguar pointed him out, so shout out to UCF Jaguar. Robert Adler says, Jones has a way better body control than Chark to catch hard catches. Body control is something that I look for in wide receivers. I think that's a attribute that like great wide receivers have, is they all have body control. I agree with you, but I just think Chark's hands, I mean, balls are going through him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm rooting for the guy. I am not rooting against him, but like I kind of had a bad feeling about him going into this season, and like it's been 1 week, and I'm not gonna overreact, but I gotta see something from Chark. I mean, this is a contract year for Chark. Think about the pressure he's putting on himself. You know, these guys put so much pressure on themselves. Like, you think like your tweet is gonna like make him like think about something differently? This guy is probably going through mental gymnastics of why he hasn't been able to produce like he did as a rookie in his contract year. I mean, these guys, I hope he figures it out. Jesus is King says, I wish the media would tell the truth instead of speaking false information. Jesus is King, I'm with you. But the media is looking for as many clicks as possible. So rather than the truth, they're incentivized by clicks. Is that a moral issue? I mean, that's for you to decide. But it doesn't surprise me, is all I'm saying. Like, yeah, I mean, I wish they would too. But it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to get more clicks, more views, and all that stuff. So, yeah. Hot take, Colts have a losing record. Titans losing record. Yeah, the Texans are in first place. Charlie Wilson with another $5 super chat. Charlie, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He says, your top-tier Jags coverage for sure. Oh, it made my night, Charlie. It really did. You breaking down game tape makes the channel better than 90% of the other guys. You are appreciated. Charlie, bro, thank you. I appreciate it. I do love breaking down film. I mean, I love watching film. I'm a film guy. I got my start in football coaching as a film guy. Like, I had to work my way from literally the bottom. So I have a soft spot for film breakdown. And I need to get back to it. But, I mean, I talked about my last show. I usually break down the film from the last game, but there was no film to look at. Usually I'm like clipping film as I'm going through it, and I almost got through like most of the game. I hadn't found a single positive clip to film. So I decided in that moment, I'm coming in here, guns blazing, optimistic. Let's do it. Look, there's so much negativity in the Jaguars fan base. So much. And it's not just Jaguars, it's every fan base. I mean, we're not the only ones that are like this. When you lose, people are upset. If you win, people are happy. It is that simple. All the same tactics that Urban Meyer is doing, Trent Baalke, Shad Khan, all of those tactics, if we were winning, would be viewed completely differently. So I get it. And I want to win as much as anybody else, but there's literally no source of optimism in this Jaguars community. So here I am, Charlie, and I appreciate the $5. But you guys don't have to be optimistic. You guys can be real. MT says Jags winning the division if we actually focus on Trevor's development, run the ball, start Cisco, and the receivers catch the ball. Yeah, I mean, I think Trevor throwing 51 times might have been the best thing for his development. I don't think he cares about his stats as far as like his development goes. I mean, I think that, all the same people that wanted Trevor to get every single rep in the preseason and every single rep in the training camp are now coming out and saying that, oh, we got to run the ball. And it's like, this year is all about Trevor developing anyways. I mean, we're not making the playoffs this year. Like, I don't care how many wins we have. I want Trevor to develop. Like, I'd be okay with 3 wins if Trevor got substantially better by the end of the season. I'd rather have that than have 7 wins and Trevor throw half as many times. Our future is not James Robinson in the running game. I hate to break it to you guys. Like, our future is not James Robinson getting 20 to 25 carries a game. Our future is Trevor Lawrence. And I know this is a dissenting opinion about Trevor Lawrence throwing 51 times, and I apologize, but our future is not James Robinson in this offensive line. That's all I'm going to say. Let me get back to the comments. Raise up. He says, for sure, your in-depth film breakdowns really help with understanding the game. Oh, thank you. Man, maybe I should do. I'm sorry, guys. I should have done one for last game. Harry Drury says, do we still have much money left over from last year? Harry, good question. We have $31 million in cap room. That we are number 1 team in the NFL of cap room. So hopefully, Urban and Trent have identified a slew of free agents that they are going to be throwing at these free agents, and we are going to get on this team, and next year we're going to have no cap room and a God-tier team. That's the hope. UCF Jaguar back in the chat from a cigarette break, I'm sure. Says, sorry for contributing to the negativity. Ha, ha, ha. UCF, it's fine, all right? Well, you can do whatever you want, UCF. When you reach your level, I mean, come on. Shay J's, member Shay J, says, Jason LaConfora probably used the same sources that told him the Jags would be in London by 2022 and said Coughlin would come down and take over for Doug mid-year. His source only has all national narratives. Again, I mean, this guy's feeding his family on clicks. That's what they do. I mean, it's not moral, it's not ethical, but it pays more. So wherever you're at on that side of the argument, I think Shay and me are probably on the same side of that argument. MTV says, UCF, your video just dropped. Oh, man, no wonder my viewers went from like 3,000 to like 100, right? Robert Atzert says, oh, yeah. He says, I'm happy to watch Trevor constantly grow as a quarterback. We will be lucky to get 5 wins. I'll take 5 wins and 51 throws. I will. I know I'm the only one, but I will. Throw it, Trevor. Throw the ball. You want to throw 3 interceptions and 3 touchdowns? Fine by me. You want to do that every game? Fine by me. That's fine by me. Because where's he going to be at in 2022 and 2023? That's who I want. That's the passer I want. I want that guy. I want the guy that's thrown the ball so many times he can do it in his sleep. I want the guy that's thrown the ball so many times he can play when he's 44 years old and win Super Bowls. Sorry for yelling. I'll calm it down a little bit. G says, I'd be happy if we lose close games but not blowouts. Okay, so that's fair, G. Like, you want to see a competitive game. I mean, you're gonna go out there. You're gonna win. You're gonna spend your money You're going to go out there and go to the game, or you're going to spend money watching it. You don't want to see us get blown out, and that's completely fair. And I think there's an obligation at some point for that for sure. Tuggernut says, our defense needs turnovers. Had Griffin pulled in that INT at the start of the game, who knows how the momentum would have shifted. That's a good point. And that was a pretty athletic play, and I've even heard some people say he should have caught that. Like, I'm not going to even comment on that. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, the momentum's a real thing, man. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, hopefully Shaq can make – you're right. Defensive turnovers are what makes or breaks it for teams. I mean, Denver, I think I heard someone say that Denver has spent more money on their defense than any other team in the NFL. Like, they have more cap room invested in their defense than any other team. Like, that's – like, I dig that. I'm a defensive guy. I dig that, but you got to have a quarterback in the NFL. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. We've seen that since literally the 2000s. Like, it's been that way. You can have a good defense, but you have to have a quarterback. That's just the bottom line. Oh, we have a new member. Antonio Rivera is now Matt Jones level, which, I mean, my personal favorite level, level 1. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate it, guys. I said I'd join if you ever started a membership. Oh, well, thank you, Antonio. It means a lot to me, man. Love the real ones out there, man. I appreciate the support. Man, just love this Jags community so much. Moon Illusions says, Trevor throwing 51 times in his first game seems ridiculous. Okay. I mean, I just yelled into the mic about why I thought it wasn't. But okay, Moon Illusions, if you want to disagree. That's what this is all about, Moon. Harry Drury. Also, I think we have some high draft picks. Okay. Yeah. If we get an early pick next year, I mean, if we're the first pick next year, what's his name? From Oregon? Kayvon Thibodeau or something like that? Or whatever his name is. I'll take him. I'll take him for sure. Charlie Wilson says the Houston game was essential for making Trevor better. He understands you take what the D gives you versus trying to get big gains every play. He'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, I think he has that tendency to want to make a big explosive play. And it's hard to take that out of people. It really is. Look at a guy like Brett Favre. Not that I'm like comparing them per se to like play style, but that was a guy who was fine with taking chances. I mean, he was fine. I mean, he had the big arm, throw it off balance, throw it as he's getting hit, take the shot downfield. That's exciting. That's what I want. If I'm not going to have an extremely mobile quarterback, that would be what I want after that. I don't want some like dink and dunker that wins you 8 games. Come on, you can keep that. You guys don't want that either. Ray's says at Charlie Wilson. He couldn't agree more. Ray's agrees with you. MT says we can make the playoffs, to be honest. Look at the Titans' schedule, and the defense Wentz will burn out, and our division is wide open. Okay, so you're saying we can make the playoffs based off of the lack of talent in our division, and I think that's fair. That's true. Yeah, and I mean, hey, you make the playoffs. That would be awesome for Trevor in his first year. Jesus is King says, Charlie, if the Texans were playing cover 2 most of the game, why didn't the coaches figure that out and take advantage of it? Plus, they were playing too high safety. Yeah, I mean, Bevel's press conference didn't seem too like high on Trevor. I mean, I think he was like happy with him, but like, I mean, I feel like the coordinators. I mean, well, the report was that Urban Meyer got onto the coordinators. Like, Urban's not calling the plays. I mean, he's ultimately responsible, and I think you saw him take responsibility this week when the report came out that he blasted the coordinators for their game plan. I don't blame Bevel, man. I said it on my last show. They tried to run the ball. They had plays called back on holdings. This offensive version of the run game is the quick hitter to Laviska Shenault, which they did a bunch. They got behind the chains. They got penalties. The biggest factor for the offense was the defense couldn't get a single stop. And every time the offense went out there, they were down by 7 more points. So, I mean, you got to think, stick with the run game. Okay, stick with the run game on principle, punt, and now you're down 7 more points. It's like, at some point, the coordinator is going to be like, okay, there's philosophy and then there's reality. Reality is the fact that our defense cannot get a stop, and if we are going to win this game, we're going to have to score every time we touch the ball. I don't know. Moon Illusion says, I'm waiting for Cisco to get the starting job, honestly. Yeah, I feel like that's coming very soon. And I think most Jags fans would agree with that. Moon Illusions of Cisco. We just read that one. Rays, I have a Matt Jones jersey in the old teal color. Oh, dude, that is sexy. That is sexy. I hope you wear it with pride. I really do. Rays with a full Jaguar on it. Oh, that's nice. Harry Drury, yeah, agree. Think we will spend big money in free agency. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, this is my prediction that I don't take credit for predictions. Like, I'm not that guy because for everything I predict right, I predict 10 things wrong. But this one thing I will take credit for. If the Jaguars end up signing both Bosa brothers in free agency, I will take all the credit for that. In Urban Meyer's first press conference. I know it's not next year, but the year after and the year after, watch out for both Bosa brothers on this defense. Calling it right now. First press conference, Urban Meyer calls him out. He's like, I just want a bunch of guys that are like the Bosa brothers. I love it. I love it. You know, Urban loves the guys he coached. You know, fun fact, I totally forgot that Urban Meyer coached Tyler Shatley in college. Didn't you forget that too? Tyler Shatley was one of Urban Meyer's guy. I love it. Moon Illusion says, is it going to rain there on Sunday? It's supposed to be like, I think, 52% chance of rain. And Moon, if I can be completely honest with you, I'm going to the game. I would not mind at all if it rained. I would take sitting in the rain over sitting in the 100-degree heat index any day of the week. I'll take the rain. Does it bode well for Trevor? It does not. Does it bode well for Jason? It does. Okay? I will put on my poncho, I'll put my hood on, and I will yell Duval, and I will drink my beer that has rainwater in it the exact same way as if it was 90 degrees and 100-degree heat index. I'm cool either way. Charlie Wilson says, Matt Jones, the only level I saw, I would have definitely went MJD because, haha, 100. I think it's, I don't know how it works. I'm still figuring it out. I set it up today. I will figure it out. You have my word on that. Because I want the memberships to be cool. And I want the memberships to have perks. And, like, I want people to want to be members, like getting free stuff and things like that. So it's coming. It's coming. Give me some time. I got bigger brains than mine working on it. Okay, that's all I'll say. Moon Illusion says, do you have any Jags player in fantasy? Moon Illusion, that is a loaded question because I am in a bunch of different leagues, okay? I enjoy fantasy football and all things gambling, to be honest with you. So I do to answer your question, I do a big money auction draft league where it's an auction draft, and I do a big money snake draft league. In both leagues, I do have at least 2 Jaguars. I'm big on Marvin Jones. I think Marvin Jones will have a good year when it all comes to the end. I like LaVisca. I like James Robinson for fantasy. I like Trevor Lawrence for fantasy. And then obviously Josh Lambo in fantasy although he wasn't great last week. So on those teams, I have a mixture of some of those guys. James Robinson, obviously disappointing. You want to see him do better. But in PPR leagues, Visca is going to be a top receiver, I think. Marvin Jones, and he's going to score a lot of touchdowns. We throw 51 times every game. We're going to put up some numbers, boys. With no tight end, with no receiving tight end, where do you think all those targets are going? We only got 3 guys who can catch. Antonio Rivera says it should have been Taven level. All right, maybe I'll go back and do that. Harry Drury says next year, good high draft picks, spend in free agency, a healthy Trevor, and what? Yeah, you got to upgrade the offensive line. You have to. The offensive line is just, I'm so sick of a bad offensive line. I just want a good offensive line for once in my life. It's all that I ask for. Don't care. Sink the money. They sank money into Andrew Norwell. Didn't work. They sank a high draft pick into Juwan Taylor. Didn't work. Second round. They sank a second-round draft pick into Cam Robinson. It didn't work. They paid Brandon Leonard big money. He's a good player. They tried to get away with going cheap on right guard, A.J. Cann. Okay, it didn't work. It's not for the lack that they didn't try. It just hasn't worked out. I don't know what else to say. They're drafting the guys, but, they're missing big time on some guys, too. The Will Richardson was a big miss. Ben Barch, I guess the verdict's still out on him. Hopefully Walker Little turns into something. If Walker Little is a good starting tackle, then never mind. I take it all back. Moon Illusion says Chark is my flex right now. Harry Drury says think a roof is coming soon. I ranted about how Jags fans are looking for things to get mad about. And when the roof was not announced, for those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, on social media, on Twitter yesterday, this roofing company put on Twitter and tagged the Jaguars, big announcement coming soon from the Jaguars. And it was a roofing company, and everyone was like, oh, we're about to get a roof over this thing. Let's go. And then today they were like, new sponsor for the spas, roofing company. And everyone was like, are you kidding me? And the pitchforks came out and the riots started happening because everyone thought that there was going to be a roof announced. And it's a sponsor for the spa, which is still not as bad as the dog park. And I will mention, and everyone knows I do hate the dog park. Ever since the dog park, this team has been horrible. Look it up. How many wins has the Jaguars had since we implemented that Pet Paradise dog park? That'll be a fun little research project for some of you young Jags fans on the way to school. Shay J, why did they not spend for O-line this year? They kept the same 5 and the same coach, and now surprised it looks the same as last year. You know, that's the question that I can't really seem to get over. Here's my benefit of the doubt for Urban and this staff. Is Urban came in, thought he could change the scheme and change the offense and the plays to better suit the 5 guys that we had. And maybe he liked the 5 guys that we had. But it was his first year, and maybe he overestimated that. Guys like you and me, we watch these guys play. We've seen them in the nitty-gritty. We've seen them in garbage time. We've seen them in crunch time. We've seen them in the fourth quarter. We've seen them in the first quarter. We've seen them late in the season, and we've seen them early in the season. We really, really have a grasp on who these 5 guys are, and that's why guys like us were like, we need to upgrade this. But if you're an outsider and you are not that entrenched, you look at 5 guys that should have some chemistry, 5 guys that have been in the league for a while, that are maulers, they're big. I mean, they went to big-time schools. I mean, Juwan Taylor, Florida, Cam Robinson, Alabama, A.J. Cann, South Carolina. Norwell has great tape at Carolina with the Panthers. Linder is regarded as a very high center, or like one of the best centers in the league. I could see where an outsider would overestimate this offensive line, and that's the only caveat I'm giving them. Like, I'll give them that. It's their first year. So I'm expecting them to make some changes. I really am. I think they make some changes this offseason. They have to. They just absolutely have to. They're bad. They're just probably great guys. They're just bad. They can't protect Trevor. It's sad. Moon Illusion says, it'll be fun watching Taylor get manhandled against Denver's ends. Trevor or Taylor? Taylor? Oh, Juwan Taylor, yeah. Well, if Chubb doesn't play, we might be okay. So here's to hoping, I guess. DJM. Wait, Jason-san, I'm so sorry for being late. I was doing homework. DJ, I'm glad that you did your homework. Homework is student athlete. Student first, athlete second. Got to do your homework. If it's math, history, science, let me know. If it's art, I can't help you there, my guy. David Bryan says, Jaguars United, we need a win. I think that's my favorite comment. I think that is my favorite comment of the night right there. Besides the super chats and the memberships, which obviously are my more favorite, but for everything else, we need a win. I love it. Just comes in and it just speaks the truth. DJM says, man, hearing Shaq and Trevor in the press conference was getting me pumped for Sunday. Me too, dude. Trevor just gets me. Dude, I look at that picture of like the jump man of him throwing with like the Jaguar logo in the background at like training camp. Gets me hyped every time I see it. I need to make my phone background. Just keep me in a ever state of being pumped if that's my phone background. Antonio Rivera, I could see at least 4 new starting linemen next year. Yeah. I'm okay with Norwell. Like, I am. The restructured deal, I'm fine with Norwell. The other 4, and I like Linder, but he's hurt and he's old. Linder's good. Okay, fine. Norwell, Linder. Keep them. Charlie Wilson. I'm definitely ready to see Barch, like, enough with the A.J. Cann experiment. It's not an experiment anymore. It's sad. It's an AJ Can catastrophe. Catastrophe. If I was a defensive coordinator, I would be like licking my chops at the fact to send two defensive players left and right of AJ Can. Every blitz. Just two guys at AJ Can. Two guys attacking AJ Can. One at the left shoulder, one at the right shoulder. Let's see him pass it off. Let's see a running back pick up the blitz. God forbid we put two guys on AJ Can, and then we blitz a linebacker in a stunt. And that's what they do, and that's why they get pressure every time. Charlie Wilson says AJ Trash Can. Brentley Sanon says, when do we panic about Shaq Griffin? Now, I don't like to panic, but I'm getting there. And I'm the last one to panic, usually. Okay, Brantley, I'm usually the last one to panic. I'm starting to panic. Preseason training camp. I don't know, man. I don't know. Shay J, what do you think about the hypothetical Broncos United is saying about this game? They have to be excited to play us when we will not be that team. Okay, so I like to go through other teams' subreddits and read their comments from their fans, and they all seem like this is a dub. And a lot of them are like, okay, we're easy win. And then like every once in a while, there's like one commenter that's like, whoa, wait a second. Let's not overlook these guys. And I brought up the points that these people brought up. They brought up the fact that Denver doesn't travel well going to the East Coast. Like we can relate as Jags fans. We don't travel well going to the West Coast. And more specifically, they don't travel well going down to Florida. They do really poorly traditionally against Miami and Tampa. And they don't do well against quarterback that can buy time with their feet. And I think Trevor can do that. And I think if Trevor does that, like that can be an issue. I mean, and not to even mention that Jerry Judy's not playing and Ronald Darby is not playing, and those are two really good players. And Graham Glasnow, like good player. I don't know. The running backs aren't that impressive to me, but I don't know. Robert Atzert says Shatley has been our best backup ever. He has been, man. Like T-Shat 69 deserves to go in the pride of the Jaguars. Antonio Rivera says the sad part is that the whole right side is bad. AJ Can is a revolving door, and Taylor gets ran by or bulldozed every other play, or holds, or false starts. Bert the Fish, what up, Bert? He says we need interior pass rush so bad. I think everyone's kind of hoping that Tufele and Hamilton kind of merge in that spot, and I am too. I'm okay with giving them a couple more weeks. I mean, I know they looked good in training camp. They looked good in preseason. Coaches like them. I'm okay with giving them a couple more weeks for Tufele and Hamilton to get a little push from the inside. I thought Roy Robertson-Harris played well. Jihad Ward didn't really stand out to me. I mean, I don't know. Malcolm Brown didn't really stand out to me. So, I mean, you know, we'll see. Moon Illusions, is this design you've got going? I'm here for the linear gradient outline in the chat on the side. I like the design. Yeah, I like the design. Thanks, man. I don't know, man. I'd give myself like a B for being like tech savvy for this type of thing. I do have some help. I have some family members. Shout out to Corey Trent. Very tech savvy. Very good at this type of stuff. So everything you see here is because I have a brother that's in marketing. Shout out to Corey. David Bryan says next year biggest draft will be offensive line, wide receivers, and corners. Charlie Wilson says I made a $20 bet today at work. If we would win, and most people in the room thought it was hilarious. What's the line on that? I mean, it's coming out. It's moving a little bit. Was it like 6 last time I saw? I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't bet the Jags this week just because I don't know what they are. And if they are what they are last week, no. Shay J, I think we need to score first and be up 7-0 this week. Would you defer or take the ball if you won the toss? Now, I'm a hardcore defer guy. I always want the ball in the second half. I think that's what I would always say 10 times out of 10. That being said, if your offense is bad, and needs the momentum and the morale boost of scoring first, having one good scripted drive, everyone executing, getting on the board, hyping up the crowd, hyping up the defense. If you subscribe to that momentum theory, you take the ball if you're the Jags at home with this offense and a rookie quarterback. Any other time, though, I'm deferring. But Shay, I think you're onto something, and that's good. That's a good question. Bert DeFish says Chazon needs to step it up. By the way, I love your show. Thanks, Bert. Dude, I love you, Bert. And Chazon does need to step up. I agree. I have been hyping him up for 2 years now. I need to start cashing in on this Chazon hype. Brentley Sinan says, will we benefit from Bridgewater not being able to throw deep? Because I feel like with our back end, I still fear the deep ball. I fear every ball. I don't think Shaq Griffin plays the slant very well. I don't think he plays. I mean, he's supposed to be this like great zone corner. I don't know. He's not making any pass breakups from what I'm seeing in zone coverage. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. Seen him in cover 6, I think. I haven't seen him make any plays. The one play he almost made last week, he didn't make. I can't get on this Shaq Griffin thing because I want him to do good. DJM says, I have Robinson in fantasy. Was disappointed with his performance. Should I start Barkley over him or the Ravens running back? Williams, I think. Fantasy's tough, man. If you want my opinion, you start Saquon Barkley because he's a beast. But fantasy is as lucky as it comes, man. And I can tell you one thing, and something else will happen. I mean, you never know. I mean, nobody saw James Robinson getting less carries than Carlos Hyde. Nobody. Bert DeFish says Saquon is playing right now, LMAO. That makes that option not an option anymore. Charlie Boy, did we bench Wingard? Please say yes. It looked like to me that they benched him at halftime. And I didn't see him come back in at safety after half. But granted, I didn't watch like the last couple drives. Chazon has to step up. Chazon, that missed sack. Dude just needs to finish. 50-50s against us are 90-10s for them. Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's the thing that's killing us for sure. Would you rather have Ronnie Harrison still over Jenkins? He seems to whiff on incoming contact. I don't know. Ronnie Harrison wasn't bad in my opinion. That was kind of weird how they got rid of him. I really think, and I'm kind of going on a limb here, but I think Ronnie Harrison had some locker room issues. Like, I don't think he got along with everybody. Because that was a whole weird situation. He wasn't that bad, but I don't know. He was a lot better in college. I mean, I don't think he even started in college, and he was still better in college. So, I don't know. I mean, I like Ronnie Harrison, but I really like Rayshon Jenkins. I do like Rayshon Jenkins. I'm willing to give – I'm holding all my opinions at least until week 5 or 6, man. I mean, you never know. You don't know what people are dealing with. You don't know injuries or if learning the playbook or chemistry. Like, there's so many things that could happen between now and then. I would just urge Jags fans to just be a little patient, you know? And, like, I know that Jags fans want to be mad at something or somebody, but let's just be patient. Let's just see what happens, you know? Let's see. This should be a good week. Should be a fun game. Again, if you're going to the game, hit me up. I'll be out there. Intuition before brewery right next door to the stadium. We'll be there from 10:30 to like 12:30. Walk over to the stadium, get to our seat, maybe have our umbrella and our poncho if it's raining. That's fine. We don't need a roof. I got an umbrella. I got a dog park. I don't need a roof. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you to all the people that joined the members of the Jaguars United channel. Thank you. I mean, you guys are awesome. I love it. Thank you for the super chat. You guys are awesome. I mean, just scrolling back through, giving a shout out to Antonio Rivera, Charlie Wilson, just bringing it tonight. Shay J, great comments as always. Nicole, Charlie, Nolly. I mean, thank you guys. I mean, you guys are the best. If you're going back and rewatching it, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you get the live notifications. I'm going to try to do another show before this weekend. I know this was the preview show, but I'm going to try to do maybe a little fun show. Maybe where I'm not competing against NFL ratings. I don't know. But look, I seriously do appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you after the game, at the game, or in a preview show before the game. Who knows? There's no telling. But hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all of those things, so we can talk about the Jags before then. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.